morning as Sanam Wangchuk was crossing a bridge in the Indian Himalayas. The engineer from Ladakh, in the Jammu region of North India, was already a famous problem solver. A Bollywood film loosely based on his life had crossed ₹1 billion in its first 4 days. But addressing the water shortages that threatened life in his mountainous home had started to feel like an intractable problem until he saw the chunk of ice still hanging improbably beneath the bridge, long after the shards around it had melted. In that moment, he says, I understood that it was not the warmth of the sun that was melting the ice on the ground. It was direct sunlight. What Wangchuk saw reflected in the ice that day was realized 4 years ago, when he unveiled his first ice stupa, an artificial glacier that towered surreally over the otherwise arid landscape, and for which in December he received a prestigious £80,000 Innovation Prize. Wangchuk Sanam won the 2016 Rolex Award for Enterprise 2016 Laureate. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Wangchuk Sanam won the 2016 Rolex Award for Enterprise. Photograph. Stefan Walter / Rolex Awards. It is the latest solution to an old problem in the Himalayan foothills. Despite its breathtaking scenery, life in Ladakh has always been hard. It is a desert at 10,000 feet, receiving on average just 50 millimeters of rainfall each year. The only reason people can live there is the glaciers, Wangchuk says. Each winter, titanic shelves of ice form at high altitudes and melt throughout the spring, flowing downwards into the streams that are the veins of civilization on the mountain. Lately, that cycle has faltered. Unnaturally high global temperatures threaten ice shelves everywhere. But researchers believe Himalayan glaciers are shrinking more quickly than any on Earth. Less water is reaching Ladakh's farms and villages, and when it does, the volume of water from the faster melting glaciers can break the banks of streams, causing floods. Wangchuk is not the first to try to wring a more sustainable water supply from the mountains. For centuries, inhabitants of the Hindu Kush and Karakoram ranges have practiced glacier grafting, chipping away at existing ice and pooling the pieces at higher altitudes, hoping to create new glaciers that can supply streams throughout the growing season. Apocryphally, villagers in the 13th century grew such glaciers across mountain passes to stop the advance of Genghis Khan. More than a decade ago, another Indian engineer devised an update. Cherang Norfel earned the nickname the Iceman of Ladakh by using a network of pipes to divert meltwater into artificial lakes on shaded sides of the mountain. The water would freeze at night, creating glaciers that grew each day as new water flowed into the basin. Norfel created 11 reservoirs that supplied water to 10,000 people. The problem was that it couldn't be done in lower altitudes, where people actually live, says Wangchuk. The lakes were also restricted to heavily shaded areas, and simply melted too quickly to make up for the shortfall in water wrought by increasing temperatures. Adapting the concept became Wangchuk's obsession. The auspicious chunk of ice on the bridge showed him how that could be done. The ice needed to be shaded, but how? He says. We couldn't have it under a bridge, or use reflectors, which aren't practical at scale. So we thought of this conical shape, making ice shade itself. It was a kind of biomimicry. Artificial innovation based on natural phenomena, such as Velcro modeled on the way plant burrs attach to dogs.